This is horrible. This is so horrible. But I'm gonna go and see my dad. You know? It's like, no? You go. People lie, people comes and goes. You need to be thankful for that. So it's always, you're always gonna have something good after the bad. I believe in God. Just to ask God, why, why this is happening to me, I don't know, there has to be a reason why.
Welcome to the Davison Boys. This is episode number 6, and we have our special guest here today, Luis from Mexico. And we have Becky. She's a longtime friend, and she's good friends with Luis as well. But she's going to sit in and kind of give her 2 cents on things and kind of open up Luis a little bit. But Luis, where are you from?
State, Zacatecas. I'm from Zacatecas, so Zacatecas is in the very center of Mexico. Practically desert,
Desert.
Yeah, just imagine Vegas without fun, I guess. But
Vegas
desert.
without the casinos.
Without the casinos. We don't have the casinos in Zacatecas.
So your story, I've heard a little bit so far. We talked about it right before we started the podcast. But you have an inspirational story, and you've come so far in life from where you began to where you're at now. And I kind of wanted to share that with the audience and kind of show them like how far somebody can go in life starting from nothing. You were 7 years old and your dad left you.
Mm-hmm.
He goes to the States. Your mom leaves a year later. She's now in the States as well.
Mm-hmm.
You have 4 brothers. You're 7 years old, or 8 years old at this time now.
Yeah.
And you're taking care of them. You're at your grandma's house. Your grandma's horrible to you guys. Something out of a Hallmark movie you were talking about. And you don't know what to do. So you decide to leave and go with your uncles, just by yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever want to go back to your grandma's house?
I don't know, I was too young. I was so scared. I was so scared of everything. Like everything. It's like when you have your parents, just imagine living in a bubble, and then they are not here. And then you're like, you get to realize everything that is around you when you're so young. And that's really hard. That's a really hard thing because you cannot really process everything,
What did you end up doing? How did you, 8 years old, you don't process emotions that way. You just think about, like, I'm trying to think back at 8 years old. I don't even remember because I had a pretty good life growing up. So it's like that part wasn't a big deal. I don't remember a lot of it. Yeah. But you went through a lot of trauma.
Yeah.
Did you hold on to a lot of those feelings that you had towards your parents at that moment?
I did. I hated it. I remember when I was with my uncle, I used to go to these... So in Mexico, they have these houses that they don't even finish building. There's like half the build, and they abandon them, or they just don't have enough money. And these houses are there for like years, like 50 and plus years. And I remember that my uncle used to live like really far from the city, and there was like these homes that were abandoned. Go there and sometimes cry, most of the time cry, because it was really hard, and I used to ask, I believe in God. I used to ask God, why, why this is happening to me, I don't know, there has to be a reason why all this stuff is happening to me, why all this stuff is happening to my brothers, why, like, I couldn't understand it,
Do you feel, so you feel abandoned at this point?
Yeah.
Life's not going well. You're in this abandoned building.
Yeah.
Praying to God. How old were you?
I was 8 still.
8 years old.
Yeah.
Pleading out to God.
Yeah.
Did he answer back?
They said God. They said God is good. And they said God helps. So he builds me. I don't have anybody else that I can go to. Nobody would understand what I feel.
Was that your last source of like structure in your life, was relying on God at this point?
Well, yeah, and one more thing that I was thinking, your best self, how would your best self would react to stuff, And then I was like, I was thinking, like when I'm 25 years old, I'm gonna be I used to watch a lot of movies.
Yeah.
So when I was in my mind, when I was 25 years old, I was gonna be successful, and I was gonna be handsome, and I was gonna have a nice car and a nice apartment, and have everything I wanted. Because when I grow up in my mind, I can do everything. I have limitations now that I'm a kid. I'm years old, and the only thing that I can do is use kind of picture my 25-year-old, and the 25-year-old, like, it's my to go, like,
That's your dream.
yeah, it's the person that is gonna raise me. In Mexico, when you're a kid, you get to grow up fast. You get to grow up fast because you get to literally face reality. It's like, even when you go to school, it's hard because, like, they charge you for books, they charge you for this stuff in school, and even you not knowing that your parents don't have money, you're not gonna ask them for money, right?
Yeah.
You're not gonna ask them for anything. It's like, I'm young, I can go and work and not ask my parents for anything.
And you were even telling me a story about your kids. How old are your kids right now?
I have a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old.
6 and 4. And your oldest was it your oldest that was scolding you because he wanted you to play more? And you were telling me, yeah, like, I don't understand that concept. Because as a kid, not only in Zacatecas was it not, I mean, kids play. That's just the nature of kids. But like, you grow up so fast. So it's not really a luxury. So, and then for you, even more so, you're literally living in the, not streets, but from house to house.
Yeah.
You didn't have that option. So like, now your kids have this safe home. They want to play it. And you're like, okay, yeah, I'll play. Like,
Yeah.
how do we do that?
I'm like,
It's really
so
foreign and he's really playful at work. Like, everybody loves Luis. Like,
Do you feel like you're in a whole different life than you were when you were growing up? Like, does this even feel real being in the States here now with your family?
my life now has like parts of my dream, when I was small. And as a kid, I used to be like, I'm gonna be a good dad for my kids, like, I thought in so many things when I was just, I guess, meditating with myself in these abandoned houses, and like, I used to think about everything, like every option, like even drugs and everything, and like I was telling you, in Mexico we have this say that if you don't control it, you don't smoke it. So I was like, even thinking on that, because I had no one to tell me things. One time I tried to, I was living with my uncle, the one that I was there for like the first 2 weeks, trying to have them to not notice me. If they discipline you, it's because they love you, right? They didn't tell me anything.
Nobody was disciplining you.
No, they
Well,
didn't.
these are your
share
uncles
anything.
too, so do you think they felt bad for disciplining you? Like it wasn't their place?
Maybe it was something, and other than maybe they thought I was alone or something, but it was most likely that they had their lives, like me coming wasn't I wasn't like in their lives. It was a plan of them having me come, because it wasn't like you said, that
they wouldn't just go and get you. And you had this story where you went to go, I guess, hang out for the weekend with your uncle that was going to go fishing. And then you told your aunt.
So I was there for like, maybe it was like 2 months already with my uncle, that I was there for like the 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
And I asked my aunt, his wife, I was like, hey, I'm gonna go with my other uncle, and I'm gonna stay there in his house, okay? So you don't worry, okay? And she was like, I don't care what you do. Like, I don't care what you do.
She's like, just go or stay. It doesn't matter to me.
It doesn't matter to me. And I was like, and then I just left, and I was left kind of sad. I was like, I thought, like,
You thought you were wanted, and then
I don't matter.
all of a sudden again,
Yeah.
you're being abandoned, kind
Yeah.
of, even though you're leaving. Like,
Yeah.
it feels like you guys didn't care enough to make me stay.
yeah. And after that, I was like, I used to go still to the house. I was like, I'm not gonna love anyone.
Was that feeling scary for you because you've been hurt so much?
No, I was like, I'm not gonna care about anyone, and I'm gonna do what I have to do. So I be this person. So I be my 25-year-old, but I'm not gonna love anyone. I'm not gonna care. And then after a while, I guess, my dad said like, I'm ready to bring you, right? And then I went to Tijuana. And I was like, to the border, ready to come here, right? It's like, I'm gonna go with my dad. Like, I'm gonna see my dad again. And then I guess for the recession and all this thing in here that was happening here in the States, it didn't happen. So I was with my uncle, with his brother, which this brother was a different thing than the other one. This one was horrible. I in the moment, I hated him so much. Right now, well, I think, like, it's gonna affect him more in the long term, than me.
And you were abused before
Yeah.
already, and now you're in Tijuana, and your uncle it's abusive relationship still?
Yeah. Because he was a really bad person. Genuine, he was a bad person.
He would say things about your mom?
He used to say about things about my mom, and I was like...
Talking bad about her in front of you?
Yeah. Like, telling me about, like... He used to tell me about my mom being, like... She was like a whore and stuff like that, And I was like... And I couldn't accept it, and I was like... No, and I used to stand up for that, because I was like, I'm here alone. My brother's not here anymore, but I'm here alone. So if you do something to me, it would be just me, dude. But you're not gonna talk about my mom. And it was bad. He used to. I remember that his kids, my cousins, had a TV though, and I used to watch Naruto.
Okay.
It was new.
What's Naruto?
It's an anime thing. It's a cartoon thing. So,
Yeah,
like a
anime.
Japanese.
You can actually watch it on Netflix, I think.
Yeah, you can watch it on Netflix now. So I used to watch this, and I was like, it's the only thing I had though. And in my mind, really first character of the movie, or like in cartoons, like the first character, he never dies. He ends up happy or something like that. Though. Cartoons don't get hurt. I wish I could be a cartoon though. I wish I could be a cartoon and I wouldn't be hurt,
That was like your safe place. Like you're watching these cartoons, you're like, this is safe. Like I can be, if I was a cartoon character right now, everything's going to be okay.
And then, plus, if you watch Naruto, it has like a similar thing,
Kind of related to this Naruto character.
Yeah. So I was like, and then my cousins, they used to come, and I remember this cousin, he was like 3 years older than me. Naruto used to be used on Thursdays in Mexico because we don't have like pay TV, right? So Thursdays was my only day that I could watch TV, and then he comes and he's like takes a controller from me, the remote, and I went to tell his parents, and they are like, no. You stay quiet because this is his house. This is his TV.
This is your cousin's house.
Yeah, this is my cousin's house. This is his house. If he says that he's gonna change the TV, he's gonna change it, and you need to be quiet. It's like, okay, this is. And my mom was like, this is so unfair, but.
So far in life, you've been taught nothing but you've been abandoned by both your parents. You don't matter. Nobody cares about you.
You don't even get to watch.
You don't get to watch TV. Your cousins have more power than you in the house.
Yeah.
So your self-worth has to be feeling
like this big.
This big, yeah.
I can see it. You can take advantage of me. And my uncle used to come and do these trying to if he was fighting me and trying to panic me. Like he was trying to panic me. I was
like he would try to threaten you a little bit.
Yeah. And I was like, when I grow up, my 25-year-old still, when I grow up, let's see if you do the same thing. And let's see if your kids do the same thing. So that day actually, it was pretty, so.
You kind of built up this vengeance.
No,
when I'm older, I'm going to take your ass.
Yes, I always saw the good things in life though, because why would you keep what's bad? It's you see your chest being aware.
Maybe now you're like that, but maybe
honestly, if I was you though, in your situation, I would have had such an anger in my heart, and I probably would have gone a different direction.
No, I did, but the day of the Naruto, when I was watching the show, when he comes and takes the controller, he's 3 years older than me, my cousin. And I was like, in that time, I was like 10 or 11. I was around 11. And he's 14. I think he was like 15 years old now. I was 11. I was so angry that before his parents came, I literally fucked him up.
Really?
You did?
And I was a kid, so it was like a movie. I still remember, like, he carries me,
Was he scared of you?
and after that he was.
I'm actually kind of like impressed right now. You're like a baller. Like a little 11-year-old.
I got so angry and I was like, no, you're not.
You deserve to be angry at
Yeah.
that moment in life. You've had nothing but shit happen to you.
Yes, and I was like, well, I take it on that guy, right?
Aww.
So I literally like fuck him up, and his parents came. He was like, his lip was like ripped, and his parents were so angry. And this one they tell me, no, this is his house. Like, you don't do what you want in here. And it was a sad thing though, because like I had told you, I was like, it was a little bit of a chubby kid, right? So
You were a chubby kid?
I was a chubby kid.
Would never even tell.
Not so much, but it was a chubby kid. I used to eat so much that I don't know.
But being so young too, like
Yeah.
you're probably trying to get food anywhere you can.
Yeah.
So you're probably trying to eat anything you can at the
40
moment.
and the chips.
It's not like you're going down to like the good earth and getting all that natural good food for you.
Yeah.
So whatever
yeah.
you can take at the moment, nobody can see you. I'm gonna take
Yeah.
it.
And I remember though, it was like for like a week and a half. My uncle, he hid the food from me, and I eat what they give me, for a certain time, and they used to hide the food from me, and I used to be like,
Was it because he was trying to give you like a diet regime, or was he like, you don't eat food in my house, go get it somewhere else?
no, he used to say, you eat too much, you're not. What do you think?
Which isn't healthy for a young boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you're young. I was chubby
Every
when I
kid
was young
grows
too.
out of- it's like a growth
Yeah,
spurt
it's a growth.
thing.
It's a
You were
growth
just
thing.
building up
You
for
don't
the growth
understand.
spurt.
You're small either way. Like
Yeah.
you just want to eat.
You
I
need
don't know.
food.
You need food. Yes. And yeah, he used to.
Did they love you at all? Like, did you feel loved from them?
Oh no. He used to. He feel like I feel like he used to think of me like I was weak because like I had no parents and stuff. And he did told me one thing though. He told me one thing, just like, I know you hate me. Because one time he was saying stuff about my mom again, and she's like, I know you hate me, but you're gonna learn from me that you're not gonna ever forgive any motherfucker. And I was like, yeah, that's you.
That's the lesson he wanted to teach you.
Yeah.
That's very
You're not
hard.
gonna forgive anybody for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Why did he want to teach you that?
I don't know. I think he was just.
I feel like he's not only like just not feeding you, but he's also like kicking you even more. Like,
Yeah.
forgiveness is horrible. I'm all powerful.
Yeah.
You have no say here.
Yeah. It was like that, and I was so horrible though. And then, but like what? I was there for like a year and a half in Tijuana, and then my other uncle that I was with him before in Zacatecas, he's a good person. He told me, let's go, and they were brothers. He was like, let's just go. He's gonna treat you bad. But at that moment, I was like, no, I really wanna go and see my dad again. I wanna see my dad again. I don't care. I'm gonna wait. Okay. He was like, don't stay.
This is your other uncle.
Yeah. He's like, don't stay. Let's just go. He's like, no, you go.
So you feel like your dreams are being taken from you again because you're sitting here going through all this shit
Yeah.
with your uncle
Have your dad.
just to have everything taken back again. Does it feel like you're kind of reversing in life? Like you're going back and not forward?
Well, no, I was waiting there for I was staying there and I was staying there just so I can come and see my dad and my mom.
So it was worth the pain. Like you're like, I
I'm
can
like,
go to the
I'm
States.
staying here.
So what are the tears for? Is it because dad never came, or is it because finally you got to see dad and it was worth it?
No, because like I was in a very fucking bad situation, and I stayed there, and I was like dealing with every day with this guy. You know, I was dealing with this guy. Like, this is horrible. This is so horrible. But I want to go and see my dad. You know.
So what I'm seeing is you were a strong kid, and you were okay to go through the abuse because you had this picture
Yeah.
on the other side that if you can just stay a little bit longer, you'll end up in the States with your dad.
Yeah.
And now you have your uncle back where you grew up from telling you don't stay there anymore.
Yeah.
It's going to get worse.
Yeah.
And so your dream is disappearing.
Yeah.
So what happens next? Did you end up going back?
I remember my uncle last day. So in Tijuana, there's a lot of gangs, like a lot of gangs, and they all have guns, right? So a lot of bad people. And I remember him like, so he knew some gangs, like were looking at me and they were like, you know, wondering about me.
For recruitment?
No, to see what gang, where I was, you know.
They want to know what gang you're part of.
Yeah, they were like, which gang are you in, you know, and stuff like that. And people is engaged, pretty abusive, you know. I remember him saying, hey, go and bring me a Coke. Go and get me a Coke in the store. And he was expecting for the gangs, the guys there, you know, to come and kick my ass, literally. He was sending me to the store, so
This is your
because
uncle.
he knew, yeah.
This is the bad uncle.
He's the bad uncle.
So he basically
He knew, like, he was like, the last day,
made you pay?
you're gonna get fucked up, literally.
How did he know you weren't going to die?
Well, I guess he didn't.
He didn't.
He didn't care.
He didn't care. Because you wouldn't do that to a kid. He didn't care, and then I went there, and then I do remember these guys telling me which gang I was from, and I was like, I'm not from like I don't do that. I'm not from any gang. I'm from Zacatecas.
Why weren't you in a gang though? I'm
That's my
confused because
question.
like if I was you, I'd be in a gang.
Why weren't you in a gang?
I'd
Yeah.
express all my anger.
Like
through
that's and that
that
would have
community.
been a community for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Protection.
Because in my mind, though, I always thought that a gang, like one of those like kind of heavy gangs, is gonna ruin my life, and it's gonna ruin my 25-year-old still.
You're a smart kid.
It's
You're a
a
smart
25
kid.
every time.
I
It's
under-
me every time.
I don't understand that because like it's so hard for a kid to have a vision and hold on to it for so long. But I
Yeah.
feel like with all the things that you went through, that's the only thing you had to hold on to.
Yeah,
That's impressive.
that's
You're so much stronger. I'm glad you didn't join a gang because you probably wouldn't be here with us today. But you chose the right path, and even though it was so much harder than probably just joining a community of people that you think love you,
Yeah,
you chose the harder path of just staying clean and living with the crazy uncle until you can get to the States eventually. But you reversed and you went back to where you grew up.
mm-hmm.
What happened after that point?
So in Mexico, let's say Vineyard is one gang, then RM here, and then Provo, and stuff like that, right?
So every city is like kind of a different.
Yeah, and you
Different
don't
gang.
miss with that. So gangs in here don't work the same either, like gang here.
Yeah.
Gangs
Then in Mexico?
we are like all those guys, you know, and they were like older. They were like 24, 27. I remember that we had like even the father-in-law of one that was 50 years old. We used to call him Charming. Charming.
I love that.
But he wasn't charming. So
The opposite.
and it was good because they like get everything, you know, and that's how people from Mexico is like, they are really welcoming, and like they get sense, they get what makes sense. Like if like some mom of whoever was looking for him, like we were like, you need to go home, dude, you need to go home. Like your mom's looking for you. It's like, don't make her struggle. You need to go home.
Yeah.
The
Can you go
community,
home?
the community was way better.
Yeah.
Because
There.
they knew what it meant. If you didn't get home in time for dinner, like
Yeah.
it was a bigger deal than if you're like 15 minutes late here
Yeah.
or in Utah and like
Plus, it's reality.
cul-de-sac
You know?
city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's reality.
Probably a lot
because
scarier.
You don't wanna make your mom. You don't wanna make your parents hustle. They already hustle too much, so you don't wanna make an extra like wait for them. You know.
You don't have any hate in you.
No.
You're always trying to like give their side of the story as well.
Yeah.
Where a lot of people are just one-sided and they don't see the other perspective. But I feel like you're kind of taking the time, being 26 years old, of seeing your parents' perspective and understanding where they were coming from. Has that helped you grow like the person that you are today?
Well, one thing, you know, life in Mexico, it's like I said, you need to wake up. You need to wake up soon. When you're a grown up, when you're a baby still, you need to wake up and be a grown up, right? And then I came here, and everything was so nicer, so smoother, you know. And I was like even like at first, like with some friends in middle school, high school, like I didn't fit so much because it was like,
You're learning the language.
yeah.
Culture.
Other than that, though, it was like, to me, and this might be weird, but to me, they were just still like a kids.
Oh,
You know?
right. Like you didn't
You
relate
feel a
to
lot
them.
older than they were.
Yeah, because I was like,
You've been through so much shit.
Already an adult.
And these people, their biggest problem was not getting the new Xbox for Christmas.
Yeah, or the shoes they wanted.
yes, and I was like kind of just memorized what like everybody said, and I was like, I feel like I didn't ever had a chance, like a time where I can say like, I don't give a fuck. Didn't give.
You couldn't afford it though.
I
Coming from where you were from, like you couldn't afford not to care.
Yeah, I'm not sure
Yeah,
you
I
had the
don't.
luxury.
Not at all.
I had to grow up really fast. I had to grow up and I had to see things, you know. And then at the same time, I was thinking of me, you know. I guess in the process, I kind of learned how to love myself and think, no, you don't do this because this is going to hurt Luis. And this is going to hurt my vision. 25 years old still. This is going to hurt, and I'm not going to get to that. And then in my mind, I'm gonna be this person. I didn't come to this life just to step on it and waste time or waste space. So I guess from that I was like, I don't have choice. I don't have choice to F this up, right? Not willing to have this poor life and to have the same situation that my parents had and a lot of people, you know, in Mexico have, where they leave their kids. Like I was telling my wife this, sometimes she was like, you know, all these guys, like, she was like, all these guys left alone, they're a little bit creepy, you know. It's like, but I was like, it's not their choice. They come because they want to. People think it's like, why is all these people coming, right? Why is all these people from other country, you know? And it's understandable because you don't know. But then when you see like the backside of it,
But
they don't want to come.
it's crazy because growing up here, you only hear one side. You only hear,
Yeah, you only hear
all these
one
people are
side.
coming over, taking our jobs, all this stuff,
Yeah.
right? It wasn't until I went on a mission. I went to Brazil, I served a mission for the church, and you realize that
It's different.
it's the dream of the United States is so big everywhere else, where it's like the United States, it's luxury, it's a dream, it's
Yeah.
you know, it's everything you ever wanted, and they can't come. So I feel like it's that feeling of they live in such a different culture. You guys live working every day of your life, and everything's a struggle.
Yeah.
And this dream of the United States is like so far away; it's so hard to get to. But a lot of people can't even come over. They can't get the visas. They can't get the paperwork done. Like there's something always stopping that dream from happening. And then when they finally come over here, they're terrified to go back.
Yeah.
And so they either stay. I've had families coming over here from Brazil where they stay and they haven't seen their parents in 20 years
Yeah.
because they can't visit each other.
No.
But was that vision in your head when you were a younger kid? Like, did you see that vision in the States of being like this big dream coming true?
No, I actually, so when I going back to Tijuana, I didn't want to come anymore.
Why is that?
anymore because everything was getting better. You know, like my uncle, his family, I was more like their brother.
So you
their-
started feeling a little bit of love.
Yeah,
Even though he tried to like sort of kill you.
yeah.
Even
Yeah, well, just a little bit.
No,
Just a
so
little
this
bit.
is the uncle from Zacatecas. This is not
Oh,
Tijuana.
different
Okay,
uncle.
different
Oh,
uncle.
okay.
That's right.
Tijuana
That's right.
one, that one never got fixed. I guess I don't know.
We still don't like that
We
guy.
don't like that
You
guy.
don't. I still, and I'm
Stay
like,
far away.
you're good. I don't have anything against you, but I care less to know about you. You know. But I went back to Zacatecas, and then everything was nicer though. Everything was nicer, and then nicer in an aspect. I was starting to be a teenager. I was starting to, have all these things going in my head.
And you could kind of take care of yourself a little bit more.
Yeah.
You weren't reliant.
But at the same time, I was like starting to drink too, starting to have things that I don't know, a
Rebellious teenager.
35-year-old would have in here in Mexico.
Yeah, so you're 13.
A lot of things, yes. But within that time, though, I left to work with my cousins like for like 8 months. So they used to have these. Do you guys know what's the swami?
Mm-mm.
Like, so there's this thing where
Oh, swap meet?
swami.
Yeah, yeah.
But in Mexico, it's they used to sell like food and stuff like that. So they sell fresh food and everything. And I used to go to work with them. And
Like a farmer's market almost.
yes, so I used to go and work with them, and we used to go to different cities, right? So let's say we have one in Orem today, we have one in American Fork, one in Spanish Fork, one in Provo next day. Every day, just not Thursday. In every city, he had a girlfriend. He was married
Wow.
at the time.
This is your uncle?
No, this is my cousin.
Your cousin, okay.
He had a girlfriend. He had a girlfriend in each city.
And he was married.
Yeah, but at that time I was like, and this is pretty normal in Mexico. This is really normal in Mexico. Not so normal, but I guess
Yeah, yeah,
normal.
Or at least where you grow up.
Yeah. So when I was there, starting seeing all this stuff though, like my heart got so sad. I was like, what if, I was thinking, what if my dad did it to my mom? And then what if my mom is doing like this stuff, I don't know. I was just so confused, and it was so sad that would happen. He used to go to the cities, and
Did your resentment towards your dad kind of grow even more at that moment?
so I feel so sad about life,
I
like
feel
at that moment.
Isn't that the kind of pivotal point where you made the resolve that you would never do that to your wife?
Yeah, well, yeah, I think that too, and my dad, my dad too. I was like, I don't wanna leave my kids. I wanna stay with my kids, I wanna stay with them and their mom, I wanna stay with their mom. I wanna stay with them, and I have loved my wife so much since we grew up together. We had some hard times and everything, but she's always there. She's always there, and I remember that I got married because I feel so lonely, And then she came, and everything was so great, Everything was like, I was so depressed before, and then when she came, she's like, she used to be just her, and like even stuff that I thought it was like stupid and stuff like that, because you think I was like a grown-up type of thing,
Yeah.
And then she come in and just being her age, I guess, like got me so excited. And then it was like her, and then I just didn't want to get away from her. I always thought, her, I was like, I don't want to be alone.
You
Like, we
somehow
were-
managed to convince her to marry you. I don't know how we did that, but
Yeah, and
You did a
even
good
that,
job.
and then the thing is that, like,
Do you think that was the happiest moment of your life when you met your wife?
it was being with her, most likely. Being with her.
You've never experienced that anywhere else.
home.
No, like I never experienced being someone loving me. like someone loving me like she did.
And you trusted her. Like
Yeah.
she was everything to you.
Like, I'm gonna love you for the rest of my life, that's what's gonna happen. And
It's a love story. I know, it's really, it's actually breaking
Like
my
that's
heart
what's
right
gonna
now.
happen to you.
I feel like you were this kid that just experienced abandonment after abandonment,
yeah,
just really mean people. And then you come to the States and you find the person that you truly loved. And
yeah,
I feel like if it was me, I would never let that go.
yeah. I haven't let it go.
No.
And you actually kind of grew up together, though, didn't you?
Yeah, we grew up together. It was hard though because we were kids, and then me having this vision, like I remember when I opened my business. So I was 20. I was 20 years old, and I opened my business, and then I had my employees, right? So my employees were like 30 to 40 something years old,
That's
right?
so
That is
old,
wild.
by the
Yeah.
way.
And then I used to
Eric.
come with them, and then all the customers were like to my employees, "Hi, Luis, how are you?" And I was like, and they were like, "No, he's Luis." And I was like, "Hey," I was like, "Hey, I'm Luis."
Kind of had the imposter syndrome a little bit, where it's like you're the young one taking care of all these older guys.
Some of them were like, "We thought you were the helper." And I was like, "No,
I'm the boss
I'm
man.
not
Hefe, is that the word?
I'm like,
I give you your payroll.
yeah, I pay this guy. No, yeah. So it was kind of funny. I found that so funny because like everybody is like, and to be honest, I feel really good. I was like, they think it's him and it's me.
Kind of had that powerful feeling. So not
Yeah.
only did you experience loving this girl,
Mhm.
you also got to experience controlling your own life
Yeah,
and also managing the people below you, or not below you, but like your employees.
yeah,
You're having to support them as well as yourself.
Yeah.
yeah,
So your whole life completely did a 180.
yeah.
You weren't relying on anybody else to take care of you. You didn't. You have love now,
Mm-hmm.
and you're also creating your own business.
Yeah.
Is there anything inside of you that's like festering where you're like kind of feeling
Like, what if I lose this all? Or
Yeah,
I don't deserve
that
this.
fear?
No, I had nothing. And I'm someone that thinks, so that you came to this life without wanting anything. Should be grateful for having a hair. You should be grateful for having clothes. You should be grateful for having everything. So,
He's always really grateful. Like, that's another thing. Gratitude is sort of a little bit the buzzword these days with manifesting and so forth, but it can't be understated. That being said, like, this guy works his ass off and he shoots high. Like, he's not happy with just mediocre. Like, he wants the best. So I feel.
thank you.
What would you tell the viewers out there that kind of are going through your same situation that you went through as a kid, that 12-year-old kid? What would you tell yourself?
Well, just to be the best version of you, be the best version of yourself, and think what the best version of yourself will do. The best version of you wouldn't do something stupid. The best version of you will go and face this life, because I feel like in this life you have two paths. And sorry for the word, but you're a bitch of this life, or you're a lion in this life. And if you're a lion, lions don't bend in this life for nothing. So you go and get whatever you want to go and get and make it happen. It's not gonna be easy, but then if you think that's what you want and what you worth in this life, you're gonna wake up every day and make that stuff happen, because that's you, and nobody can change you. Whatever it comes, you just need to see the best of it. Because why would you storage? Just like, like I was telling you, like, just imagine that your chest is a warehouse. Why would you storage bad things? Why would you hurt yourself? Like, you take the good moments. People comes and goes. You need to be thankful for that. If it goes, like, like I even tell my wife, I love you with all my heart. And then if you go, well, I'm so thankful for all the good moments that I had with you. And if this needs to happen, then it's gonna happen. And like, where I told you, like, where dry desert ends, green grass grows. So you're always gonna have something good after the bad.
My last question for you, kind of the same question as last time, but now this time imagine yourself, that kid that does not feel loved by anybody, just going through life on his own at 13 years old. What would you tell that kid?
Well, I would tell him, keep going, keep going because
Becky's gonna be your coworker someday. She needs you.
because after you're 25-year-old, then you have your 30-something-year-old, and then he raised you good. He's raising you good, so you just keep going and you roll your own path. Nobody gets a decision on that. So you go and make it happen if you want, and yeah.
I love that. Well, I really appreciate you guys coming today. I
Thank you
really
for
do.
having
Is there
us.
anything
Thanks for
else you
having
guys
us.
would like to talk about or say?
Well, no, pretty much it. Again, to everyone,
Your story is amazing.
thank you so much.
It really is. Like, it's
Thank
an
you.
inspiration. And I think it's really important for people to know that your life isn't what it's going to be today. It's going to change in 20 years. So if you're going through an incredibly hard time
It
at
has
a
to
young
change.
age, or 20 years old or 30 years old, that in 10 years from now, it could be completely different.
Yeah, and it has to pass. It has to pass. It can be a month. It can be whatever. But good moments and bad moments always pass and go away. But it's up to you what you make of life. If you want to make this your best moment, we live by moments, right? Sometimes we think like, oh, time, like, oh, I don't have time for this. I don't have time for my kids. No, you live by moments. You live by moments, and those moments is what people remembers. What your kids, what your wife, what your parents, what you remember. Those moments, like I had good moments, and I am grateful for everything. I'm grateful for when I had parents, when I didn't have parents, because I am what I am because of that. Now that I have kids, I have my wife. I do everything. I work doing flooring, sales. I wake up one day and I was like, and this is crazy because I did wake up one day and I was like, I'm gonna be a model. And I was like, and then everything
love that.
just happened. I was like, everything just happened, and I
Which is a big deal because you, as a kid, did not think you were good looking at all. Like you were like, I'm an ugly kid.
So that's a
So he just was like, I'm an ugly kid. So when I'm 25, I'm gonna be a model.
Your whole
just gonna be a
perspective of
model.
being 25 years old has come true so far for you.
yeah.
Because he is a model. He
Yeah.
gets paid
And I feel like
to model.
having that vision as a kid and you held on to it for so long, like you manifested it into real life,
Yeah.
and it all came true. And so like you're wanting to be a model, it's not that crazy.
Yeah.
No.
Like
And I
that's-
think the takeaway here is also like the manifesting line, but also notice that there were so many choices along the way where he said, nope, I can't do it because that doesn't line up with this.
yeah, you didn't join a
Picture.
cartel, you didn't join
Yeah.
a gang because that wasn't part of your vision.
Yeah.
That 25-year-old self didn't join a gang or a cartel.
Yeah, he wasn't on that, and I couldn't see him on that. I had something that I was like, this is what I'm going to be, and this is kind of crazy, but I always told myself like, I'm gonna be rich.
I love that. I believe that's going to happen. Like
Thank
so
you.
far, everything that you've talked about has come true. So
It will.
it's going to happen. We'll have to redo this in 6 months and see where you're at.
How's your real estate business going?
Luis, I love your story. And I think you're a fantastic person.
You too.
Honestly, thank you guys for coming, both of you. But Becky, we appreciate you being here as well. I feel like you helped open
you.
everything up, and I loved your
It was
questions.
a pleasure.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure.
But I want to have you guys back in 6 months and kind of see where you're at
Great.
from here.
Yeah.
But
That would be
please,
great.
if you guys are watching, like and subscribe. It's the Davison Boys. You can also follow Luis, on Instagram. What's your...
L that Hinojosa, so it's HINOJOZA
I'll put it on the bottom as well.
Put it on the bottom. That's Carla's name.
Follow
so
him on
it is
Instagram.
something.
Very motivating, inspiring story.
Thank you so much.
And I appreciate you guys being here.
Thanks.
Thank
for
But we
having
will
me.
see you guys in episode
Appreciate
7.
you.
You're welcome, man.
Thank you.